What's up, guys? Just Josh here with another album ranking for you guys. This one's in the form of a tier list. Today we're going to be ranking Machine Head's albums, all 10 of them, including Of Kingdom and Crown. More on that later. So if you guys watch the channel, you're familiar with how I do the album rankings. I usually just have the album on screen in order, like with the number in the top left corner, my commentary, the song of an album, like usually my favorite song of the album behind it. And yeah, I figured doing a tier list would be easier on myself editing wise, and it's just a lot easier to do a tier list. So, Of Kingdom and Crown, I know it's not out yet. It comes out on Friday, but my good buddy Frail Limb Nursery got his pre-order early. He got it yesterday as I'm recording this, so he sent me it to listen to. I'm obviously going to pick up the CD at some point and support the band. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a mini review of it when we get to it, and yeah, he also made this tier list as well, so shout out Frail Limb Nursery. So yeah, one of my favorite bands, Machine Head. Really excited to do this, and we're just going to be going in order. So, 1994's Burn My Eyes, Machine Head's explosive debut album. Lots of Pantera vibes on this album, but definitely some originality. This has one of the sickest guitar tones I've ever heard. No thanks to the legendary PV5150. And I believe they use Marshall cabs on here too, if I'm not mistaken. Just a really nasty guitar tone, very just crunchy and very just abrasive. It's very, very raw guitar tone. It's awesome. Tons of great tracks on here. Obviously, you got Davidian, Machine Head's staple song, Old, 1,000 Lies, None But My Own, Rage to Overcome, Death Church, A Nation on Fire, Blood for Blood, Block, I'm Your God Now. Pretty much every song on this album is killer, and this is going in S tier. Now, their second album, The More Things Change, from 1997. This one kind of follows in the footsteps of Burn My Eyes. Doesn't quite live up to the Burn My Eyes status, but it is definitely not a sophomore slump either. This is definitely a killer album in its own right. Lots of great tracks on here. 10 Ton Hammer, Take My Scars, The Absolute Rage or Struck a Nerve, one of their fastest, thrashiest songs. Really killer song. Down to None is also good. I also like Spine, Bay of Pigs, Blistering, Blood of the Zodiac. Definitely a great album. Not quite as good as Burn My Eyes, but I will put this in A tier. And then we got their third album, 1999's The Burning Red. This album got a lot of shit for it being more nu metal focused, although I don't really think it has too many nu metal vibes to it. There's obviously some rapping on Desire to Fire and From This Day, but otherwise I would just say it's a straight ahead groove metal album. Much like the first two, although the first two have thrashy moments, this one doesn't really have any thrashy moments. I'd say it's more of a groove metal album overall. But yeah, I hold this album in very high regard because it did help me through a very dark time in my life, specifically the title track and the more personal songs on it really comforted me like 2 years ago now when I was going through a dark period. But yeah, maybe controversial, but I'm putting this one in S tier for now. So, and then we have their fourth album, 2001's Supercharger. Now this, I'll just get this out of the way. This is my least favorite Machine Head album. I don't hate this album at all. There's definitely a lot of great tracks on it, like Bulldozer, Crashing Around You, Kick You When You're Down's pretty good, Only the Names is really underrated, All in Your Head is great, Nausea's great, Trephination, Deafening Silence. The title track is okay too, but songs like American High, Blank Generation, and White Knuckle Blackout are really not that great. White Knuckle Blackout starts off awesome, and then it goes into this weird rap section that just completely derails the entire song for me. Like I said, there's some great songs on this album for sure, but I just feel like it's just not very cohesive, not very consistent, and definitely their least favorite in my opinion. And then we have their Absolute Redemption album in 2003's Through the Ashes of Empires, their fifth album. This album definitely brought back that groove/thrash metal sound we all know and love from Machine Head, with bangers such as Imperium, Bite the Bullet, Left Unfinished, Elegy, In the presence of my enemies, days turn blue to gray. All falls down. Descend the shades of night. Pretty much every song on this album is awesome. And definitely a great redemption for them after people kind of soured on them for those 2 albums there, Burning Red and Supercharger. And I am putting this one in, I'm going to say A tier. And then we have Machine Head's 6th album, the absolute masterpiece, The Blackening, released in 2007. This album is just incredible. It's been described as the modern day Master of Puppets, like the Master of Puppets of the 2000s, and I have to agree, man. Starts off on an epic note with clenching the fist of dissent, then follows up with Beautiful Morning, Aesthetics of Hate, Now I Lay Thee Down, Slanderous, Halo, and A Farewell to Arms. My only critique of this album is that Wolves, I think, did not need to be 9 minutes. That song kind of drags. There's some cool solos on that song for sure. And speaking of solos, this album is chock full of just eargasmic fucking solos, especially Clenching, dude. Clenching, The Fist of Dissent is one of my favorite Machine Head albums for sure. This one is going all the way to the top spot in S tier. And then we have Machine Head's 7th album. Right? Yeah, their 7th album, Unto the Locust, from 2011. This kind of fell short of the Blackening status. I mean, when you release such an album as The Blackening, it's very hard to follow that up, but I think they did it very nicely on this album. This album has a shitload of bangers like I Am Hell, Be Still and Know, Locust, This Is the End, Pearls Before the Swine. Darkness Within is really good too. And Who We Are is like an okay song. I'm not really too into it. But the other 6 songs on this album just fucking rule, man. I Am Hell is one of Machine Head's most furious openers. That breakdown is just crushing. Great album. I'm probably going to put this in A tier for now, I would say. And then we have their 8th album, Of Bloodstone and Diamonds, released in 2014. And this album I never really got into. I like most of the songs on this album. Looking at this track list: Now We Die, Killers and Kings, Goes All My Bones, Night of Long Nights, Eyes of the Dead, Beneath the Silt, Damage Inside is a really good song, Take Me Through the Fire is a really good song, Game Over is a really good song. I just never really gave this album too much time. I'll have to revisit it at some point. Definitely not a bad album, but I just, for some reason, it was like the black sheep of their albums. I never really listened to it that much. I'm going to put this one in, I'll say B tier for now, yeah. After I order all these, I'm going to go through and make sure that this is my definitive ranking here. And then we have 2018's Catharsis, the band's 9th album. Definitely their most controversial album. This one definitely has a lot more political themes on it than most of their records. I'd say it is the most political Machine Head album. But the thing people fail to realize, like when Bastards came out or when Volatile came out and everybody was saying, oh, Rob's getting too political. Like, did you not listen to the first 2 albums? Like, those in The Blackening, there's even political stuff on The Blackening, but the first 2 albums especially have tons of political lyrics. I mean, come on. It's a lot more subtle on those albums. It's not so direct and upfront as it is on Catharsis. But Machine Head has always been a band that writes songs about politics from the very beginning. So the fact that everybody got their, everybody made a whole shitstorm about Catharsis being too political is kind of ridiculous, because Machine Head was always sort of a political band here and there. But anyways, I don't hate this album nearly as much as some people do. I think a lot of people didn't give this album a fair chance. Didn't listen to the whole album multiple times to try to really digest it and see if there's anything they like. I think Volatile is a banger. The title track's great. Catharsis is a great title track. Beyond the Pale is a good song. Triple Beam is pretty good. Kaleidoscope is good. Hope Begets Hope is really good. Screaming at the Sun is really good. Behind a Mask is really fucking awesome. Heavy Lies the Crown, it takes a while to get started, but once that thrash part breaks in, that's a killer song. Eulogy's good. Yeah, the only songs I'm not too keen on are California Bleeding. Just the lyrics don't really do it for me, man. It's really wacky. Bastards, I mean, I don't really like the style of that song. And then Psychotic is actually a good one. I forgot about that one. Grind You Down is okay, I guess. Razorblade Smile is okay. Like, this album instrumentally is really good, but I think a lot of the lyrics kind of ruin these songs. I'm going to put this one in the C tier, because there are a good chunk of songs I do really enjoy from this album. And that brings us to Machine Head's most recent album, coming out this Friday of 2022, August 26, 2022, Of Kingdom and Crown, their 10th album. Now, I will say this right off the bat, it's not The Blackening Part 2, but it is a really, really good album. There's tons of bangers on here. And I mean, just going to throw a spoiler warning if you haven't heard the album yet. I mean, most people haven't. It hasn't out yet. But if you haven't heard the album yet and you just want to listen for yourself, just feel free to turn this video off now. Thank you for watching. But if you don't care about spoilers, or you're one of the lucky people who got your pre-orders early and have already heard the album, then yeah, feel free to stick around. So the album kicks off with Slaughter the Martyr, which I was really excited for this song. I thought it was going to be another Clenching the Fist of Dissent, with it being 10.5 minutes. Not quite another Clenching the Fist of Dissent, but it is a really good song. It starts off with around a 3-minute, like, clean sort of intro that builds it up. Rob's clean vocals on this intro are really fucking good. He shows off a lot of his range, and then Jared comes in as well to harmonize with him. And Rob and Jared really harmonize so well, like live and on the albums. Jared just is a perfect complement to Rob's voice, and even with the growls and screams he does as well, it's just really good. And then it kind of kicks off with this metalcore groove once the other instruments come in, and the chorus is really good. And yeah, like I said, not quite another Clenching the Fist of Dissent, but it is a really awesome opener. And then Choke on the Ashes of Your Hate, everybody's already heard this song. Nice, really thrashy song. Furious riffs, great solos. That breakdown in the song is killer as well. And same with Become the Firestorm, everybody's already heard this song. I really love the blast beats on this song, and just like the thrashy nature of this song. This is definitely, I would say this is sort of like This Is the End from Unto the Locust, like This Is the End Part 2, basically, because it is kind of similar in some parts. Like the pre-chorus vocal line is pretty much identical. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, This Is the End, if you want to make a part 2 to any song, This Is the End is definitely one of the songs you want to do that to, because that song's fucking awesome, and this song is awesome too. Become the Firestorm is a killer song, definitely one of Machine Head's top ragers, and for sure. And that breakdown is sick as well. Great solos on this song. And then we get into Overdose, which is just like an interlude. And then My Hands Are Empty, we've already heard this song. Nice chorus, nice like sing-along kind of whoa thing. And then we get into Unhallowed, which is a great like ballad type song, but it picks up like halfway through. It gets thrashy, but the chorus is really awesome. Great sing-along chorus. And then we have Assimilate, which is another interlude. And then Kill Thy Enemies, which is one of the new songs. I thought the second half of this album kind of is not weak, but a bit less, I'd say, memorable than the first half. I'm not saying this album is front-loaded. Every song on this album is really good. I'm just saying the first half is a bit better. But this song has a great catchy chorus. And then No Gods, No Masters has a really sick breakdown in it. That one also has a pretty good chorus. And then Bloodshot also has a really catchy chorus. And around 2.5 minutes in, there's a really, really cool riff. And yeah, you'll just have to hear these songs for yourselves when the album comes out, or if you've already heard it. But yeah, man. Not saying that these 3 tracks are bad. It's just I'd say it's a bit less memorable than the first half of the album. And then we get into we get into Rotten, which is another one of the tracks that we've already heard from that Arrows EP. And I was never too big on this song. I don't hate this song, but it's kind of meh for me. I mean, it's got a great groove to it, but yeah, I just never was really big on this song. And then you get Terminus, and then the amazing Arrows and Words from the Sky. Just a great Machine Head classic, emotional type ballad song to end the record, which they've done with a lot of their albums. Have a nice like ballad type song like The Burning Red, or Descend the Shades of Night, A Farewell to Arms, Eulogy, like those types of songs to really end the album on a nice emotional note. And Arrows and Words from the Sky definitely does that. When this album was like unannounced, I thought it was going to be called Arrows and Words from the Sky, but obviously it's not. But Arrows is the last song. I'm really happy about that. It's an incredible closer. Really, really amazing song. And Rob's vocals on this, the singing, Jared's vocals, his harmonies with Rob are just really fucking awesome on this song. And yeah, let me see here. Where do I want to put this? I'm going to put this... I'm going to put this in A tier. I know most people usually have only 3 items per tier, but maybe it could be in B. I don't know. I'll put it in A. I'm just going to break the rules here. But yeah, so you got Blackening, Burn My Eyes, Burning Red, More Things Change. We got the Blackening in S tier. We got the Blackening, Burn My Eyes, the Burning Red. In A tier, we got the More Things Change, Through the Ashes of Empires, Unto the Locust of Kingdom and Crown. B tier, we got Blitzen and Diamonds. C tier, we got Catharsis. And D tier, we got Supercharger. I think that's a pretty good ranking. I think that's going to be my final ranking. So yeah, that's my ranking, guys. So let me know how you guys would rank Machine Head's albums down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Please go out and buy, pre-order Machine Head's new album of Kingdom and Crown. It's really fucking good. And yeah, make sure you buy the CD, the vinyl, the cassette, a shirt. They got a cool zip hoodie on their store as well. Definitely, I'll leave 10-ton trading code down in the comments, or description rather, below. Make sure you support Machine Head. Awesome band. And yeah, that's going to do it for my Machine Head album tier list, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Stay metal.